Hello everyone, this is Pal Ponder on Weather coming at you with another video. In this update, we're going to be talking about the overall snowfall forecast for December, as well as the temperature anomalies and the overall precipitation. So before I do get started, if you do like weather-related content, please subscribe to my channel, as I will upload about 5 videos a week to keep you updated. And I do ask you to share this video with your friends and family on social media. All right, so let's kind of get right into it. Here is the season so far for the snowfall. And a lot of the snow has been confined to the northern portions of the U.S. and Montana and Idaho, filtering into Colorado, and a lot of the snow is mixed in into New Mexico, getting the portions of the Texas Panhandle and the upper portions of the U.S. And the snow has been kind of lacking for the Northeast. It's predominantly been confined to the interior portions of the Northeast. And here's what it looks like so far for November. It's been predominantly a warm November for much of the United States. We've had a zonal flow going on for much of the month. So a lot of the snowfall has been confined to the northern portions of the U.S., but I do feel that is going to change as we get into December, with some snow setups taking up for the southern regions, getting into the Oklahoma, Arkansas, Missouri, especially into the Ohio Valley, and getting in portions of the Mid-Atlantic. So we'll kind of walk you through all this, and here's the overall precipitation for the first half of December. We've had a very unusual pattern kind of setting up. It kind of flipped. I mean, we're in a moderate La Nina, but then we had a very active subtropical jet form, which is definitely very unusual in the face of a moderate La Nina, but that is actually what happened, and that's what's going to continue for the first half of December, and bringing a lot of above average rain for good portions of the South. I know Houston had like 5 inches of rain yesterday, so a lot of this rain can be confined to the South and the Southeast, and getting in portions of the Ohio Valley, into the Mid-Atlantic, and especially the Northeast, where they actually might be dealing with some severe weather coming up in the next 2 days. And some of the rainfall has been confined to the extreme northern portions of the Northwest. And this would be your classic La Nina setup, where it's been kind of just bone dry over the southern California region. So here's the third week of December. So that pattern stays fairly active for the first half of December, and then it kind of subsides. We do tend to kind of dry out and go back into more of a normal, a little bit drier pattern for the South and the Southeast. And then it kind of flips. I mean, we have a little bit wetter pattern, just average, but a little bit wetter pattern kind of sneaking in into the northern portions of the U.S. by the third week of December. And by the last week of December, we see that filtering down a little bit more, filtering a little bit higher precipitation kind of coming into the Northwest regions. And then as the pattern kind of changes towards the end of the month, a lot of the rain will kind of flip from the first half to the second half, drying out by the end of the month in the southern regions, and getting wetter than normal for the northern regions of the U.S. Now let's kind of take a look at the overall temperature anomalies for the first week of December, and this kind of puts you through very cold temperatures. I mean, this is well below normal for the deep south into portions of Texas and Louisiana and Mississippi and Alabama, where they're going to be experiencing well below average temperatures with that very active subtropical jet. I mean, we have what they call a Rex blocking pattern set up, which is fairly unusual, again, where we've got high pressure to the north and low pressures underneath, and that's what's going to set up the snow setups for portions of the South, and especially for the Ohio Valley into the Mid-Atlantic. But by the second week of December, we still have those well below average temperatures kind of hanging on. So Florida, you're going to get in the mix. I know you're going to be probably experiencing your first freeze coming up on Tuesday or Wednesday in that region. So a lot of the colder air will be confined to the southern portions of the U.S. and especially the Southeast, while again, that ridge kind of builds with that Rex blocking pattern as we kind of deepen into that pattern for the second week of December. But by the third week of December, it kind of relaxes a little bit. This kind of subsides. The overall pattern changes. There's a little bit of uncertainty. It looks like the MJL, which is in a null phase, could go into a little bit warmer phases, which would be phase 3, 4, and 5. But I wanted you to take attention to this, kind of well below average temperatures, kind of sneaking into portions of Canada. So what's going to happen is maybe down the line is the PNA, which is the Pacific North American, with this extreme pattern that's going to set up for the first half. It's going into a positive 4 deviation, as well as the NAO going negative. That is an extreme, pattern that could actually signify possibly a disruption in the polar vortex kind of later on down the line. So that could be enough. The polar vortex is very strong. We have not seen it. We didn't actually see it all last year, and it's in a stronger phase, which means that a lot of the polar air has been confined well up in Canada and the northern regions. But by the middle of the month, there are some sort of indications where that extreme PNA could actually possibly start to disrupt the polar vortex. And that kind of takes a while to set up. But by the end of December, we could be starting to see a little bit of a shift in the polar vortex and start becoming weak, what they call weak. And that would set the stage for it to possibly maybe split and send little pulses down further south, getting into especially Canada. And this might actually start sneaking into the northeastern regions of the U.S. So that is kind of a longer term play, but I do see that's possibly on the table, but that probably would not happen until sometime in January by the time it actually gets into the United States. But you see, we do kind of subside and be above average as we go into some of those warmer phases of the MJO, which is 3, 4, and 5, towards the end of the month. So here's the overall snow setup. I mean, we're going to kind of take you through this kind of a timeline for the entire month of December, even getting to the first week of January. Here's the setup for the first 10 days from December 1st through December the 11th. And you can kind of see kind of a bullseye what we've been talking about with these two systems. The first system is going to set up over the Ohio Valley, bringing those up to a foot of snow, especially confined to the around the lake here of Lake Erie. And that's going to get in portions up to the Mid-Atlantic. And the second setup would be confined, at least starting over the portions of Oklahoma and getting into Kansas and Arkansas or Missouri, and then to Arkansas. And that would also swing up back into the Ohio Valley as well. And some of the snow coming off the northwest flow of the northwest regions of the U.S. And that would be the first 10 days. So we kind of break it down from basically December the 6th through December the 16th. And a lot of these confinements would be these lows, these on the 500 milliball pattern, kind of has these kind of digging in, bringing some heavier snows for creeping into the southern regions, getting into Oklahoma. And I do feel like this track is pretty much on par, as it's going to track along portions of Tennessee, getting into Kentucky, and especially again the Ohio Valley is going to be kind of the bullseye for the first half of December, where you're going to be predominantly getting much of the snow, and especially portions of the Mid-Atlantic. So now let's kind of take you through the 11th through the 21st of December. You can kind of see a lot of the snow gets kind of shifting back into the northwest, where you see start to see some of those heavier totals into Washington and Oregon and Idaho and along the mountains of the Sierras in California. And this will filter into the mountains of Colorado as well, and getting into portions of the Dakotas, and start getting into some of those heavier amounts, where again you're going to be in the alignment of these troughs coming in and bringing snowfall to the north, breaking out into Wisconsin and to Michigan, and especially the Ohio Valley again, getting into the Mid-Atlantic and the interior portions of the Northeast as well. So that would be from the 11th through the 21st. And now it's kind of take you through the 16th to the 26th. Again, a lot of the snowfall will just be kind of deepen over the northwest off that northwest flow, bringing more snowfall, getting into Iowa, getting into Minnesota, portions of, pretty much all the entire state of Wisconsin. And again, a lot of these snowfall, at least the heavier amounts will be into the interiors. I do think you have a lot of warm water vapor along the coast, and it's going to probably take until December, probably sometime in January, where we might have some of the coastal regions kind of getting into the action and getting more of the snowfall included for you guys. But if we take you through the end of the month, kind of like the December 21st through the December 31st time span, I know a lot of you guys are probably going to be off work during that time. This is, of course, over the Christmas break and the end of the year holidays, where we could see a lot of the snow confined to the northwest regions. And again, where that snow track is possibly going to set up over Colorado, getting into Kansas and Nebraska, getting into this portion, good chunk of Iowa again, and Illinois. And again, extreme portions of the Northeast, where you get kind of mix it in towards a little bit of that snowfall along the coast. But now let's kind of take you through the next 45 days. And this would actually include the first 10 days of January as well. And it's already kind of showing hints that possibly that polar vortex might filter in some of that polar air and bring some of that heavier snowfalls totals with it as well. So this is over the next 45 days, and this would also kind of filtering in for the first 10 days of January. We start maybe include Texas in the picture for some snowfall, get into Amarillo and portions of West Texas. Again, Dallas, looks like you're always on the borderline of these snow events. But one day it will snow again for you guys in Dallas. But a lot of the snow will be confined to portions of Tennessee and Kentucky. A lot of the southeast regions will still be looking for their first flakes of the year. But a lot of the northwest flow, again, we'll see a pretty good chunk of snow for the northwest regions. So that would be over the next 45 days of the overall snowfall for the United States for the month of December, getting into the first week of January. So I hope that this video was helpful. Definitely like this video. Please leave your comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel to catch me in the next video where I protect you before and after the storm.